Yeah.
I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won. I hope my team they won.
Yeah. Man.
I hope my team they won. I hope my team they won. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, episode 822. This is the Indy Report, and I have Brandon King. You want to talk about phenomenal timing to make an appearance on this show? Oh, my word. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you, my brother?
I'm doing good. I want to first off by apologizing to the audience. It's been a couple weeks. Last week I had to do fatherly duties and go to a concert for my son. The week before that I was competing myself, so I had to get ready for that. So I couldn't do the show. And I had a lot of things going on that day. But I'm gonna go ahead and run the intro. Welcome to episode 822 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast. The show that's covering the sporting HBCU diaspora, all things HBCU sports for institutions large and small, from the NAIA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture and HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic programs and the business of HBCU sports. I am your host, David L. Rhodes, with my partner in crime, Brandon King. We might have the HU Power Ship to make an appearance as well. We're going to see they're both on assignment right now. We are filming from our home studios and sending a signal live to KCOH 1230 a.m. studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Famer Ralph Cooper in the beautiful home of Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. Since I have you here, do you want to start with Tennessee State? Or do you want to just hold on? Because I have some news. I do want to go over. So we should make them wait a little bit if you're gonna be here.
Let's tease it out.
We'll make a wait. I want to start off by giving a big shout out to Alabama State. The baseball program, they came real close in beating Oklahoma State. I caught the tail end of that game, and like there were some moments where I thought they were going to legitimately pull them off. There was one moment where they could have pretty much walked their way to victory, literally in the 10th, in the bottom of the 10th. And I thought they were going to do it, and I was like, that was a chance. But shout out to them for an amazing season. I was very skeptical before the last time I was on this show about how important it was for them to get it done, and they didn't get it done. But Alabama State made that conference proud and made us proud. So congratulations to you guys on a tremendous season.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to give that shout out, and the other thing I wanted to talk about is track. Shout out to Howard. They have they end up having 7 individuals make going to Eugene next week. Starting on the 10th, they're going to be competing for a natty. I mean Howard, the Howard women. Shout out to A&T. A&T has, if my count serves me correctly, I think they have 11 people going.
Yeah,
11 people if my math serves me right. Or maybe 12.
Yeah,
two relay teams. We got 2 relay teams on the men's side. We got 2 folks running in the 400 meter hurdles, and 1 individual running in the 110 meter hurdle. And we also have a triple jumper or a long jumper. We got 1 of the jumpers. Yeah, so triple jumper. And on the women's side, we have a what is it? Where is it? We have a triple jumper and a high jumper. So we got some folks that legitimately have a shot to win a national title. Now, Xavier Partee has a good shot to win a national title in the triple jump on the men's side. And, but he declared for the portal right after he made it to Eugene. So, but he'll be wearing A&T gear. He graduated from A&T. So I ain't mad at him, but that's the life of the portal, man. You out here doing that. FAMU had a couple folks qualify. Had my boy Leonard. I know Leonard very well. He was on A&T's program as a freshman, as a true freshman before he transferred to Tennessee. They ended up at FAMU. So shout out to him. So FAMU had some representation. Alabama, as in Alabama A&M, I believe, has some representation. So it's good stuff. Shout out to them. I hope I didn't miss anybody because I'm gonna hear about it, and that's okay. But shout out to all of them for getting to Eugene. Hopefully somebody can bring them a national title. I think A&T's got a couple chances in some places. Really had a chance in the 110 hurdle, but the best hurdler got disqualified of that whole controversy that happened. Even though, I mean, he did flinch, so I can't be mad at it. He did flinch. Yeah, we're talking about Howard. The running joke, Howard quietly having a great overall athletic success recently. The running joke I always have about Howard is that ever since A&T left the conference, Howard has decided to take over the entire thing. They're winning everything. They're winning everything. Since we've left, I think they've won in every single sport, except for bowling. They're winning everything. So that's what they do. That's what they're doing. They're taking advantage. And I don't blame them. And nobody else is coming to step up. Like Norfolk will occasionally win the track side on the men's side. They'll win the men's side on the track. And then everything else, Howard has a shot. I mean, that's just what's been happening. I mean, Howard's
getting it done.
Football, but that might change rather quickly. So I'm not too concerned about that aspect.
Yeah,
but yeah,
getting it done across the board.
Man. Yeah, man. All right. I'm ready to take this early break now. I want to get my shout outs out, and we're gonna take this early break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about Tennessee State, and that'll probably be the show. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna keep it a bean with y'all. I have a Tennessee State expert here. I have so many questions, and I have a lot of perspectives. Being a school that's no longer in a HBCU a black conference, an HBCU conference, so to speak. So I have a lot of thoughts about this whole ordeal. We're gonna take our first commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna discuss this with Mr. King. Maybe somebody from HU Powership pops in, and then we'll go from there. So we'll be right back after this first break.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural tastes, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now. From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Compress the analytic data with your hip-hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Welcome back to Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, episode 822. This is the Indy Report. So what's been going on in Tennessee State, Brandon?
What had been going on? Well, you get some good, you get some bad. This is definitely a case of the latter. So reports came out, as many of you know, of a no confidence vote in Director of Athletics, Dr. Mickey Allen, and it was signed by 6 coaches. Of course, Nolan Smith, the new men's basketball coach, Reggie Barlow, the new men's head football coach, Coach Candace Dupree, the still fairly new women's basketball coach, softball coach, Janine McGrath, legendary, certified legend, track and field coach, Chandra Cheeseborough, and volleyball coach, Danica Sutton. And so there was several areas that were outlined in terms of concerns that these coaches raised in this level. Basically, inconsistent communication, lack of transparency, and uneven allocation of resources among programs, lack of a clear departmental vision and accountability structure, delayed decision making, affecting staffing, budgeting, declining morale, which within the department, which I have heard about that, insufficient collaboration between administrations and coaching staffs, and concerns about equity. I can't even talk right now. Equity and support across athletic programs. Yeah, there's a lot going on in terms of that, and it's easy. I guess you look at the surface, and I was having a conversation fairly recently, and you would think when you look across the HBCU landscape as seemingly athletic directors that were on solid footing, you would think, considering the recent success of the both football and the basketball program, that Dr. Mickey Allen would be amongst those, just from that standpoint. But it goes to show that once you kind of get under the hood and look at some of the parts there, everything that looks good is not what they seem. As the Transformers said back in the day, there's more than meets the eye. So,
for me, this is a classic example. Like it's fascinating on my end, only because we always discuss about how important it is to win in men's basketball and football. All right, that's what that's what a lot. Dr. Cavil discusses it. Everybody discusses it. And my thing is, when I looked at like the 7 things that the concerns that they had, I could be, and like this is just me being opinionated about it, but I feel like there's certain pieces of it that only go to certain coaches. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think like all 6 of them agree of all 7. I think Coach Barlow probably got a couple of them bullets. Coach Dupree probably got a couple of them bullets. If there's one that has all, we got bigger issues, right? But the combination of them all happening is problematic. Because like when I saw that Barlow and Smith signed this, I said, Smith just got an extension, Brandon. Like, he just got a deal. And he signed this. So that was the first glaring thing. The second glaring thing is I'm always like, part of our decision to leave in a conference has something to do with like equal footing on certain aspects between the men and the women's sports. And one big thing I saw that was half of the, pretty much 3.5, right? Because track and field coach probably handles the men and the women, I'm assuming. So like 3 of the coaches were covering women's sports, including like the two marquee women's sports in volleyball and women's basketball. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, and then that's where I felt like the whole uneven allocation of resources. And then when I started looking at some of the numbers, and the football program got close to $4 million more than any other sport, including men's basketball. So I can understand the uneven allocation aspect of it all. But then when I see that Barlow signed, I'm like, man, how much more resources does that man need? Like, he's getting like the most of the dough, which is kind of expected anyway for football. But I was just like trying to figure out what was going on with regards to that. But one thing is clear. It's gonna make it very challenging for the AD to survive this.
Something.
You saying something, Brandon? You good? I think I might have lost Brandon. But I truly
and you don't want to see anyone. Oh, go ahead.
No, you got it, man. You were going in and out, so I wasn't sure what you were saying.
Oh no, and it's a lot easier to maybe fire one than it is. If the folks that you just hired felt strongly enough to sign on to this letter, well, there's some serious issues within that athletic department that need to be addressed.
No, I agree. I think I'm looking at the comments right now. The interesting thing about Tennessee State's AD is the brother came from University of Tennessee, under a good athletic director in Danny White. Okay. I've heard some things. Not everybody's too thrilled with him. Hey, Brandon, can you go out and come back in? Because your audio's like going in and out, buddy. But yeah, I don't know. And the big, okay, let me look at this comment. Let me see. Yeah, I know about this. Yeah, Tennessee State as an institution has been going through a lot of challenges. There's no question about that. But I know that there's also the big bullet, the couple bullets that's like very telling: delayed decision making affecting staffing and budgeting. That one is scary. And like I watched a couple Tennessee State alums. They had a show and they were talking about this whole situation. And basically, man, they were pretty much saying that the president has known about this for a while, and they kind of just let it sulk, which isn't good leadership. And now it's all public and everybody's talking about it. You got the Tennessean dropping the letter, other outlets are covering it, like HBCU Game Day, HBCU Sports. And so now you're one of the 3 Division I HBCUs that isn't in the MEAC or the SWAC. So now you're getting now what do you do now? But I'll tell you what, going to the SWAC, them trying to move to switching conferences isn't going to fix their challenges if they're resource strapped. If they have coaches complaining about resources, going to the MEAC or the SWAC isn't going to really solve much of their problems. Because in the SWAC you got Jackson, you got Alabama State, you got Prairie View, you got FAM, who's not as resource strapped as you guys are based on this. And then on the MEAC side, I mean, Howard is a juggernaut over there right now. And then at some point Norfolk is going to wake up, but I've been saying that for a very long time because they got they spend a lot of money in athletics, and Morgan does as well. So you have other schools on that end that actually does invest in their athletic programs as well. And so to say, oh, switching conference ain't gonna fix this. Like the first step you're gonna have to do, Tennessee State's got to decide what they want to be, and that's more on the administrative level. Then if it's clear that it's going to be tough for that athletic director to continue his tenure there, because when you have close to half of your coaches saying they have no confidence in you, that means the trust is gone. And if you don't have trust in some of your most important sports, and particularly your two revenue sports, the folks who are running those programs is either them or you. And before Brandon got out, he said it best: it's easier to get rid of one person than six. And some of those six coaches have brought you championships. So, but when you take a look at some of these teams and some of the records that they've had, you can't expect a winner if you don't properly resource them. It's that simple. I kind of equate that to A&T's baseball program. Like, you're not going to be able to compete, and we're in the CAA. You're not going to be able to compete in baseball in the CAA if you don't adequately fund the program and resource the program. Like, that's just the reality of it. So if there's like an expectation that it's going to work and you want to win, you expect them to win games, you have to properly fund it. I'll bring you in, Brandon. Hold on. How you feeling, man? How's that audio now?
Am I better now?
Oh, you absolutely are. You absolutely are. I'll blame your Wi-Fi.
I'm not in my usual locale, so.
Nah, fair enough. So I was telling them, like, before you came back, man, the big thing for me is the big bullet for me is the delayed decision. Delayed decision making affect the staffing and budgeting. Because like season tickets are on sale for a lot of our institutions right now. Is there on sale are they on sale for Tennessee State?
I thought I saw something about that. If they haven't yet, they're about to shortly.
Okay. And the other question I have, like, I was hearing rumblings that they might not play the game against Jackson and Nissan.
I'm hearing it might be at Vanderbilt.
That's what I've been hearing too.
I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. It might be over there.
So I'm wondering why.
And I don't know. And it's funny. I've got the take one of them. I've got the copy of the contract. I hadn't had a chance to look it over, and I'm curious as to how that would work in terms of clauses in that particular deal. Allows them to do that.
But there has to be a reason why. Like, I don't know why wouldn't you just use the Titan Stadium? And Emmett, man, okay. I think it's about the opponents too. Like, we had a pretty good crowd in Greensboro when I went to the game last year. So I think it's about the opponents too. And then North Dakota State, they brought a lot of people with them when they played North Dakota State in that stadium. So I think it's about the opponent. Like, I think that matters too. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure about the vicinity of how close, if Vanderbilt Stadium is closer than Nissan Stadium. I think Brandon can speak to that better than me.
It's definitely closer because it's just right over there, off of West End. So
Vanderbilt's closer than Nissan.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize. Okay, well, that might help.
Yeah. That could, in terms of, because I guess one of the things, like I said, is that distance. You got the traffic now and paying for parking and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Okay. It can be a bit of a hassle. I mean, if that's your perspective in terms of having it there, may make it a little easier, at least on your students and some of the local community. Something.
Audio went out.
Do
Okay.
travel.
I missed half of what you said, buddy. All right, I'll give him a quick minute. Oh, we got a second Brandon. How you doing, man?
Okay, yeah, I'm having all sorts of issues here today.
It's okay. But you were saying that you saying it would be cheaper to go through Vanderbilt anyway with the parking situation, right?
Just with parking, the distance, and some of the other things that might be impediments for people to come out, because I mean, it can be a hassle. Because I've talked to people, and that's kind of one of the things that you don't want to have to deal with, especially with traffic and things of that nature. So and perhaps that went into that particular decision, but
Yeah.
yeah, they're being kind of tight-lipped as to why they decided to go that route.
All right.
And I'm
So
not even necessarily, I guess, in this, and I'll just say this: I don't think it's about turnout necessarily on our end, because this is going to be what it's going to be. But I mean, we know that Jackson State and their crew, they travel well.
oh, they do.
They absolutely travel well.
They do. That's why they were probably
Yeah.
so determined to get this game back, man. It's gonna be a good game for both sides too. So to circle back to the no confidence letter, what, like, based on what you've seen from President Tucker so far, how soon do you think he's going to try to get some resolution to this issue? I know I read that he's going to go meet with the coaches this week, but
I think you have to this juice. This has to be solved in 10 days max. After
hold on.
situation. Letter. Meeting with so come on.
All right.
Come on.
Hey, Brandon, I'm going to take another break, and hopefully, because your audio went in and out again, we'll try it again after the break. So we'll come back right after this. We'll come back right after this break. I want to finish this conversation with him if possible before we adjourn. So we'll come back after this break. Hopefully, Brandon can get his audio situation resolved. So we'll be right back.
If you've ever told yourself, I want to get into real estate but don't know where to start, here's something just for you. From Friday, July 31st to Sunday, August 2nd, the Learn Real Estate Fast Masterclass is coming to McKenzie Office Park in College Park. You'll learn wholesaling, commercial investing, and how to purchase property with zero money or credit. I can tell you, education and access are everything. This masterclass is designed to give you both. Whether you're brand new or ready to level up, this is where you start making real moves. Enjoy free lunch, free study materials, and receive a certification of completion. So don't wait. Seats are filling fast. Do not sit on the sidelines while others build wealth. Take that first step toward ownership and legacy. Get your tickets now at learnrealestatefast.com or tickpick.com. For more information, call 678-859-3303. Master the market. Build your legacy. Secure your future today.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit HBCUPrideJoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter. From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Welcome back to Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, episode 822. This is the Indy Report. Brandon didn't make it back. It's very unfortunate. I know he was having some audio issues, and that's okay. But to just give you my quick perspective on what I think Tennessee State should do, based on like everything I've read, everything that I've seen, what I've heard, there's a lot of cleaning up to do within the athletics department. And to be quite frank, I don't know if I don't think moving into another conference is going to fix this problem. Even if there's some folks, there's been talks that it might be a possibility that might be a thing of that might be an opinion of some folks within that staff. But I will say this: I think the first step is it's like one thing about when you have a lot of turnover in leadership at the president/chancellor level, that instability typically hits your athletic programs the hardest. I got to see it firsthand with A&T in the mid 2000s when we were having like after the gap between Chancellor Rennick and Chancellor Martin, there was a lot of turmoil in leadership during that 4 year period. And so it took some time to get that athletic program turned around. So I say all that to say, Brandon's back. I say all that to say, we really have to. I think the first thing they're going to have to consider doing is cleaning house, so to speak. What's going on, Brandon? I'll bring you back on in a minute. So my big thing is the first thing that's got to happen is that the athletic department is going to have to be revamped, and that might mean people are going to have to walk. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So what do you think the first steps are? What do you think Tennessee State needs to do from here?
Honestly, you kind of touched on it a few. You've got to establish a clear direction. And then once you do that, you got to figure out, well, are the people, start with the top, and is this the person that I think that can lead us into that direction? And then if not, you need to make those changes quickly. Because this is not something you want to sit on. Because if we're speaking strictly athletics from a recruiting standpoint, if there's this type of uncertainty and turmoil, for lack of a better term, in the department, well, then that's going to potentially run off some of the athletes that you would go after. They're like, do I really want to? Is this something I really want to step into? Is it worth it? Because look, if the coaches are this miserable, what does that mean for me? I
Uh-huh.
mean, if I'm honestly, and even if I'm a parent, I'm asking those same questions. What's going on here, and who am I turning my son, my daughter over to for the next? Well, these days, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and is this the best place for them? So I
Yeah,
think the sooner. Oh, go ahead.
somebody asked the question: Did Eddie George bring in a lot of funds that Reggie cannot? I'm gonna be honest, man. It sounds like this was happening before Eddie. This might have been happening during Eddie. So Zach. Shout out to my man Zach McKenna, who runs FCS Football Central. He said something to the effect of previous staff pretty much said they were working to get out of there for a while because of some of the promises that weren't kept. So that tells me that there's like those issues were already there. Like it was abound. I know everybody expects the football coach to raise money, but that's part of their job, but it's not their entire job. So
Yeah.
the AD, that's part of the AD's gig. The AD's responsible for raising the money more than anybody else in that department.
And that is supposed to be one of Dr. Allen's forte. Is fundraising.
Yeah, so I'm gonna need his well, I don't think he's gonna have time for his forte to get into effect at this point because, like I said earlier, man, this is gonna be hard for him to stick around this. You pretty much have half your coaching staff not trusting you. Half your coaches not trusting you.
Yeah.
So like this is gonna be tough. This is gonna be tough, and this is a tough cycle to go look for an AD too. Not at this point of the game. So this is gonna be a very tough spot. And considering some of the challenges that Tennessee State has been having, even though I've got to give the president credit, they got a $13 million surplus right now at the university level after being in debt previously. So that's a good news story. But now your president is going to have to focus a little bit on the on athletics a little bit, show that he actually thinks it's important. This is one of those moments. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to unfold, man. But I wanted to make sure he was okay, man, because I know this kind of was shocking and sudden. Because Mickey's been getting a lot of credit. And a lot of kudos for how well he's running that athletic department. And the thing is, being outside of the MEAC and the SWAC, the only time we tend to get news, and a lot of times we don't even get news then. Like I mentioned, the fact that A&T has so many track representation that's going to Eugene, more than any other HBCU. We have to do good things to get in the headlines at the HBCU level. You don't want to have too much bad news. Because they'll usually talk about it when you're bad, but because you're not in one of those conferences, you don't get the usual drip, so to speak, of news about your institution like you would if you was in the MEAC or the SWAC. So you're going to be dependent on either you having a good media team like we do. We got a pretty good one at A&T, and you got to have, and we fortunately have HBCU Game Day that's based literally up the street. So you have that to help out, because a lot of these local newspapers don't really have a beat writer for the HBCUs. They used to back in the day, but not as much anymore.
Yeah.
But the Tennessean has no problem putting in a rough article about us, and that's exactly what they did about the leak, about the letter. So we have to be mindful of that independence. And I know we've always had these discussions about, well, is it a good fit for us to stay in the conferences that we are? I just don't know if Tennessee State going to another conference would fix this. It wouldn't fix this. That's just my opinion. People could disagree, but it won't fix this.
No, because the fact of the matter is, if you zapped us into the SWAC, that doesn't eliminate these sorts of issues. That doesn't eliminate your coaches not having trust in your athletic department. me, or in your athletic director, I should say.
Yeah.
I think that would be at best putting a band-aid over a gaping wound, and you need to address the issue before we even worry about something like that. Now, look, I'll put on my, I don't want to say conspiratorial hat, but one of my long-held views, as you know, we've talked about it so many times on the show, you know, particularly moving out of the OVC, and this name the conference gets talked about the most. And I've kind of held the contention that I see that happening unless one of two things happen. One, something catastrophic happening within the Ohio Valley Conference, and or some sort of change either in the mentality or the personages that heads athletic administration. Because you know this just as well as I do, what some people in the athletic department ivory towers, their thoughts on our conferences are. So with that being said, could this be potentially one of those steps? If you clean house and get rid of the certain leadership over there, does the next person you come in, would they be more amenable to that possibility? Would they push for it? That's something, that's, I wouldn't say potentially how this shakes out would not necessarily be out of possibility.
It's fascinating you say that, because A&T's AD is retiring at the end of this month, and he announced it about a month or so ago. He announced it, and the first thing folks were saying was, "Oh, now we might be able to go back to the MEAC." But I read the ad for the position, because the ad's out there, and I read through the ad and I said, "This ad doesn't read like somebody like an AD that's going to go back to the MEAC." So, no, I'm just keeping it being with you. It does not read like that at all. So I'm kind of like just waiting on eggshells, because they tend to be pretty hush hush about who applies for that job. So we're gonna wait and see who's gonna end up. I know the goal is to have somebody named before AD Hilton retires. So we're gonna see if that occurs. But I think that, I say all that to say, I think that will, like you said, that's going to be the decision-making factor about whether or not somebody's going to is more open to going to another conference. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least. Like, I think the OVC is in good shape now. I think they've gotten past the instability. I know there was a legitimate concern about it. I think the MEAC probably needs you guys more than the SWAC does. But I think that there's going to always be a pocket of alumni, and probably yours is probably much more higher than ours, that will love you guys to go to an HBCU conference.
They've been wanting that for like 30 years.
That's the thing, right? Like, you guys have been in the OVC since what, 87? So, like,
87, 88.
Yeah. So, like, you guys have y'all been out of this game for a bit. And I think the big concern, and Dr. Cavil kind of brought it up during the show. I watched some of the show yesterday. He brought it up about the fact you guys ain't really won that many championships since you guys in the last 30 years. And my response, and the thing is, the concern about A&T and Hampton going out, leaving the MEAC, was that we was going to end up like y'all, not winning anything. And I'll say this, and Hampton might be happy when I say this, but I'm like, I think A&T's doing okay. Hampton not so much, but I think A&T's doing okay. I just think the big thing A&T just got to get competitive in the revenue sports, but like they're pretty competitive in some of the other ones outside of those. There's some where they're pretty bad, but like we've won a decent chunk of championships so far since we've been in the conference. So we've won the third most in the conference this year. So so we're doing okay. It ain't what we were doing in the MEAC on the way out the door, but we're doing pretty good. But strength of schedule's higher in the CAA. It's going to be harder. We got to invest. That's the big thing. We're not there yet from an investment standpoint. We're getting there, but we're not where we need to be competitive in all those sports. So that's the biggest challenge of them all. Meanwhile, there's schools in some conferences they ain't won a championship in anything in over 1,000 days. So I think it's not. I think the investments have to happen first before you can see the significant progress when it comes to regardless of what conference you're in. So that's just my 2 cents on it.
I agree.
Yeah, like
first decision got to be made.
If somebody donated to Valley would be a terror in the swag. But nobody's sending money to Valley like that. But if Valley had the same resources as some of these other schools that are actually winning these championships, things would be different. But Valley doesn't have the resources like that. That's just the reality. You got to have the resources to compete. You got to decide if that's what you want to do. And I understand that for a lot of institutions, it's typically or not and.
Yeah.
So, and that's the biggest hurdle. We got to get to and. So,
especially in this current athletic landscape.
Oh yeah.
A lot, you got to make a decision.
If you don't get to and soon, you might as well go ahead and think about D2 or 3. And I joked. I told I mentioned it to a bunch of my A&T brothers and sisters. I said, our next athletic director is going to decide if we're going to go FBS or Division 2. No in between. We got to have the path. So whoever gets this gig is going to tell me which way we're going. That's just my thoughts. Because I think there's going to be a point where there's going to be some pockets within FCS that's going to squeeze themselves out with the way things are going. Because we can't expect Congress to actually figure this out. So something's going to have to give there. Like I think there's going to be a point where some folks are going to accept that the Big Ten and SEC is going to break off, and and everybody's going to be fending for themselves. It's going to be like it's going to be gladiator school.
It's going to be them and everybody else, and you got to figure out get in where you fit in.
Absolutely.
Figure out what you want to do, what you can.
And the other factor too, man. My man said, "Come on down to the swag." Man, I did some digging about Bethune-Cookman going to the SWAC, and I saw something fascinating about it when it comes to travel.
Yeah.
Because Bethune's travel, like part of the reason why Bethune left the MEAC was so they didn't have to go to Dover. And the reality is that Bethune travels much more in the SWAC than they did when he was in the MEAC. I mean, I know they don't have to go to Texas every year, but going to Texas is not cheap. And Mississippi ain't cheap either.
Oh.
I mean, they're not. These are some paths that ain't cheap. But
yeah.
No. But we know why they went over there. I mean, once FAMU left, we knew what it was going to be. Like, we know.
Facts.
That's a hike. Listen, that is a hike. I checked. It is a hike. Hike, I tell you, a hike. That is a hike. But you know what? Man, we see you, man. And I stand by my 7 wins for A&T too. I have no problem. I'm standing on business there. Anywho, you got anything else before we adjourn, man?
No, look, I think like everybody else, but perhaps I with a little more of a tuned eye will watch and see how this situation at the mighty Tennessee State plays itself out. Because I think this could be a defining moment in the program's history, depending on how it goes and in the direction it can set it in. So I'll be watching and trying to see what else I can find out and see what happens. This is unprecedented waters in a lot of areas. Because I mean, and I was talking with someone about the last time that I really remember, at least at this level, and AD getting the no confidence vote was the situation at FAMU, and that came from what the National Alumni Association, not necessarily from the
That
coaches.
wasn't even the coaches.
Yeah, that was the Alumni Association. So, I mean, that you could. Well, I don't have any. You could just. It was what it was there. But when it comes from the coaches, the people that see it day to day, that experience it, that have the boots on the ground. I mean, that carries a lot more weight, and especially with people that hadn't even been on campus for that long.
It's
and
people
these
that
are
he hired. He hired 5 out
just
of those
hired.
6 coaches. He hired 5 out of those 6 coaches, man. That's that is he hired
the last
most of those
3
coaches.
within less than 3 years. The last 3.
He hired. Listen, this is the thing to follow me, and I know we got to close because we're hitting an hour. And OG Strike Zone starts at 8, and I got MD at 8:00 too. He hired most of those coaches, and the one coach he did not hire that was on that list is the most legendary coach of them all.
Yes.
Like it's just like you. There's no way you can survive that.
You can't.
There's no way. I know he put. I know President Tucker did the whole. We're looking into it, bruh. And I'm almost in MD mode already. It's not 8:00 yet, but you're past looking into it at this point. You've had months to look into it. Because this didn't just show up. It just didn't show up.
This something like this. This didn't just happen when the letter got there.
Nah. That letter's been sitting in the archives for a bit. And then they finally decided to release it. It's kind of like Nintendo with video games. They got video games in the archives for a long time, and then someday they just decide, all right, we're gonna let it out to the world now.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. But all right, man, I'm gonna go ahead and close out the show. ONG Strike Zone is next on the Black College Sports Network, so make sure you guys tune in to that. Thank you for listening to Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share our podcast with your friends and colleagues. I'm David L. Rose. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at ChampD1012. Check out SneakerShopTalk.com. He's going to break some news about what's going on in Tennessee State. I'm pretty sure of it. So shout out to you, Brandon King. Make sure you check out the HU Pirate Ship. They're doing some amazing stuff regarding Hampton. I had jokes for them because they predicted they were going to win 6 football games, but I wanted to talk about that, but there's another week for that. We hope you enjoy. Again, we want to thank you for listening to Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you check them out. Check out Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, Mike Washington, Charles Bishop every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We look forward to next week as we discuss the latest news in the lab. Make sure you follow Inside the HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Facebook and Inside the HBCU Sports Lab on YouTube. Dream big and continue to move forward. We'll talk to you soon. Brandon.
Course.
Lecture. Dismissed.
Dismissed.
You guys have a good one.
Boring.